Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. It was a weekend's worth of bad beats. Starting with the Sunday night game, the Yankees plus 125 went off the favorite. They got swept by the Red Sox, 4-1, bottom of the ninth, two outs, and Chapman blows it. The Red Sox get the walk-off and win in extra innings, 5-4. They get the broom out. Under 9 was a tough push as well. Porcello pitched a gem. Evaldi pitched a gem. They led 4-0 in the first game of the series, and the Yankees lost that game. A disaster. And don't look now. That is what, 6 straight poor starts by Severino, and the A's are only 2.5 games behind the Yankees now.
Sure, and that's scary for Yankees backers. But all that being said, you want to point the finger? Point the finger at this guy right here, Aroldis Chapman. Yankees plus 13, or the Red Sox, I should say, plus 1,300 in game when Chapman came on in the ninth. 2 outs. Can't get the third out. That's a tough beat for under bettors. That's a tough beat for Yankee bettors. It's a tough beat for anyone that has a Yankees future in their pockets. Boston has taken control of the AL East.
And the Rockies should be in first place, and it should be a comfortable margin. They lost 3 out of 4 in St. Louis and should have won 3 out of 4 in that series, bullpen shenanigans, and it carried over to Milwaukee. Friday night, they were plus $1.12, and they were minus 120 with the plus a run and a half. They're up 3-2 in the ninth. Wade Davis allows a 3-run shot. 5-3 Brewers, his 6th blown save of the season. And then yesterday, I hope you grab 9 at least to get the push. 8.5 or 9, 3-1 in the ninth inning. Rockies tack on a run, and then they blow it again. Milwaukee gets 3. The Rockies do win in extra innings 5-4, though.
And when you think about all the money that Colorado spent on their bullpen this last offseason, this wasn't supposed to be a problem. They were supposed to have not just a good bullpen, an elite bullpen. Hasn't been the case at any point this season for Colorado, and things are getting worse, not better, costing underbackers money, costing Rockies backers money all throughout the course of the weekend.
There's another one. Braves Mets under 8.5, 3-1 in the 7th, and then 4-3 Atlanta in the bottom of the 9th. Their bullpen blows it, although they also rally to win in extra innings. But you get a tough one there, as that was a 5-4 final. Bad bets, the Cubs and Padres. Look at this, Teddy. You don't see this every day. Cubs-Padres total 12.5 down to 10.5 and flies over 10-6 final. Lester didn't have anything again for the Cubs.
Yeah, and that flew over early. And, of course, when you see a total of 12.5 anytime at Wrigley, you know which way the wind blowing. Doesn't matter what the pitching matchups are. The markets went nuts betting this one under. The books got to keep all of that money. 16 runs scored at Wrigley. The under 12.5 to under 10.5, that a wrong side loser.
Royals took money on the road. That was strange. Twins returned the favor after getting swept in Kansas City. They took it to the Royals at home, plus 135 down to 120. Bad for the books. Padres, again, the markets don't like Lester, even though he's top 5 in ROI because his advanced metrics are so poor. Plus 185 down to 150. They went 5-20 in July, but split a 4-game set in Chicago. And here come the A's, plus 225 up to 260. They went 14-0 this year against the Blue Jays and Tigers. Cahill, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. They don't allow an earned run in the whole series.
And Oakland's the betting story of the second half. No question about it. A's backers have been, A, cashing in on a day-by-day basis, and B, growing into a bandwagon. We saw some of that for sure yesterday with the A's bet up minus 225 all the way up to minus 260. Oakland wins again. Another bad result for the books.
This wasn't good either. Phillies, 245 up to 265 and touched $3 here at Station Casinos in Vegas. And the over from 7.5 to 8.5, right in the middle. 5-3 final. They win again at home, where they are awesome at home, but 5 games under 500 on the road. More on that coming up. And UFC, not a bad card. TJ Dillashaw up to $1.40. The professionals were on Dillashaw. The public was on Garbrandt, Dillashaw. How about Herb Dean? Feel free to step in and stop this thing. 25 straight shots he nailed them with in the first round. He wins again. Also a huge upset. Mighty Mouse goes down. He was as high as a $6 favorite, and I've been tracking this for a couple of years as well. It seems these female fights continue to go over because you're talking about, especially 110, 115 pounds. You're not going to see a knockout. Both female fights went over. A lot of other fights went the distance, although you had Cub Swanson who took money. He got beat. That was over minus 2.5 rounds, over minus 310. And that one lost with the heavy juice as there was a submission, rear naked choke in the first round. So a pretty good card. And it's interesting to see the markets as well with Khabib and McGregor, which is going to do big numbers, as Khabib opened 180 and then was down to 150 in Vegas and pushed right back up to 170, 180. You can find Khabib minus 145 offshore now.
Yeah, sure. But you want to talk about a fight that should have been stopped early? What about Johnny Football, Manziel and the Alouettes on Friday night? They took an enormous amount of money. Montreal, who's been the worst point spread team in football, worse than the Cleveland Browns, were the public choice. Johnny Football, let's say it was rough early, rough often. The first score I saw was 14-3, and then 14-0, then 21-0, then 28-0. Very ugly for Alouettes backers on Friday night. That's certainly a wrong side losers. As again, Montreal bet all the way down plus 6.5 in some spots off an opener as high as plus 9.
3 of those interceptions were high school throws, horrible throws. And I know some people were tweeting support saying that was on Montreal trying to sell tickets, and he shouldn't have been in there. It was ugly.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.